While millions of people are chasing the latest viral trend, standing in lines for hours to buy what everyone else is buying, and basing their entire identity on what is popular, there is a smaller, quieter group of people who simply do not care. To the observer, these individuals might seem detached, arrogant, or even broken, but if we look through the lens of Abraham Maslow, the father of humanistic psychology, we discover something far more profound. Their indifference isn't a lack of interest in life, it is a sign of a highly evolved state of being. Stay with me, because understanding this perspective will completely change how you see your own need to fit in, and why your occasional feeling of being an outsider might actually be your greatest psychological strength. Here is the thing that most people misunderstand about the human mind. According to Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs, most of us spend the majority of our lives driven by what he called deficiency motivation, or demotivation. We act because we feel a lack of something. We seek food because we are hungry. We seek safety because we feel threatened. But once those basic needs are met, we move into the social realm. We seek belongingness and esteem. For approximately 80% of the population, the need to belong is a powerful, driving hunger. We want to be part of the tribe. We want the approval of our peers. This is why the masses love what they love. When a television show, a sports team, or a fashion trend becomes the thing, joining in satisfies that deep-seated deficiency need for belonging. If you like what everyone else likes, you are safe. You are part of the group. Your status is confirmed. But Maslow noticed something fascinating about the people he called self-actualizers, the small percentage of individuals who had reached the peak of human psychological development. One of the most striking characteristics of these people was what Maslow termed resistance to enculturation. Self-actualized people are not necessarily rebels who go out of their way to break rules. They aren't edgy for the sake of attention. Instead, they have developed a certain inner autonomy. They are in the culture, but they are not of it. They can follow social conventions when it is convenient, but they are psychologically detached from the need for mass approval. When they ignore what the masses love, it isn't because they are trying to be different. It's because their internal compass is simply tuned to a different frequency. Think about the last time a massive cultural wave took over the world. Perhaps it was a blockbuster movie or a global sporting event. While 60 or 70% of the people around you were swept up in the excitement, you might have felt a strange, quiet indifference. You weren't angry about it. You just didn't feel the tug. From Maslow's perspective, this happens because you have moved beyond demotivation and into what he called being motivation, or be-motivation. When you are be-motivated, you are no longer seeking to fill a hole in your soul with the approval of others. Instead, you are driven by meta-needs, a hunger for truth, beauty, singularity, and justice. Popular culture, by its very nature, is designed to appeal to the lowest common denominator. It is created to satisfy the deficiency needs of as many people as possible. It is often loud, predictable, and repetitive. For someone seeking being values, the latest pop song or the tribal fury of a football game can feel empty or shallow. This isn't elitism, it is a different psychological diet. Just as a body that has tasted fresh, organic nutrients might reject processed sugar, a mind that has tasted peak experiences might find mass entertainment to be unfulfilling. Maslow found that people who ignore the masses often have a very firm foundation of self-esteem. They don't need to say "we won" when a sports team succeeds to feel like a winner themselves. They don't need to wear a specific brand to feel that they have value. Their sense of self is inner-directed rather than outer-directed. But there is a challenge here that Maslow warned us about. He called it the Jonah Complex, our fear of our own greatness. Often, When we feel that we don't fit in with the masses, we feel a sense of guilt or shame. We wonder if something is wrong with us. We fear that by ignoring what the world loves, we will end up alone. However, Maslow's research suggested the opposite. Self-actualized individuals actually have deeper, more profound relationships than the average person. They just have fewer of them. They trade the wide and shallow connection of the masses for the narrow and deep connection of true intimacy. They don't need 10,000 strangers to agree with their taste in art or music. They only need their own integrity and a few kindred spirits who also operate on the level of being values. Another key reason why these individuals ignore the masses is their need for privacy and detachment. Maslow observed that the most psychologically healthy people often require more solitude than the average person. While the masses find meaning in the crowd, the self-actualized person finds meaning in the core, and they use their energy to cultivate their own talents, solve problems outside of themselves, and experience the world as it really is, rather than through the distorted lens of social media or public opinion. So, if you find yourself standing on the sidelines of a global craze, feeling absolutely nothing while everyone else is screaming with joy or anger, remember Abraham Maslow. You aren't being difficult. You aren't being antisocial. You are simply exhibiting a high level of self-governance. You have reached a point where your psychological survival no longer depends on the likes of the tribe. You are moving toward the top of the pyramid. You are prioritizing your meta needs over your deficiency needs. You are choosing the unpredictable path of your own growth over the safe path of the crowd. As Maslow famously said, what a man can be, he must be. And for many of us, becoming what we can be requires us to let go of the hand of the masses so that we can finally use our own 2 feet. The indifference you feel toward the popular world isn't a wall, it is a door. And on the other side of that door is your own potential, waiting for you to stop looking at the crowd and start looking at the truth. If this exploration of Maslow's world helped you understand your own mind a little better, you are ready for the next step. You might be wondering why, even when we know we have potential, we often hold ourselves back from achieving it. This is a specific psychological trap that Maslow spent years studying. Click the video on your screen now. Your journey towards self-actualization is just beginning. Stop playing the game the masses want you to play and start playing the one you were born for.